Alright guys, Bill here, back with more Far Cry 5 this next day.
Davon's probably going to go home. We're left with Kevin and David in the house. As people who are more on the outside. Obviously, Danny is more on the outside now. She's probably public enemy #1 from a few different people.
Okay.
But the thing that's frustrating is what Melissa talked about is the fact that they don't even realize that they're all on the outside. By the time Danny realizes that she's on the outside, it'll be too late. It really will be. Like,
she'll already be the first layer off the onion.
So, are we just gonna make Chloe Fraser?
By the time she realizes
why is my voice so fucked? Holy fuck.
So, I mean...
Also, sorry to cut you off, but David not getting picked...
David absolutely could have had a chance at winning this one. For as good at competitions as Tyler supposedly is, I really do feel like he's like kind of a step behind Big Brother 20 Tyler, just physically. We sort of seen that even on the show that the weight loss.
Yeah. So today was interesting. I was busy this morning. I did get around to finishing writing my Hitman video.
And they really screwed up by not picking him.
That was such a bad mistake. It's just so bad.
We're calling the police on them right now. Bad news. Don't do it.
Yeah. Don't do that. I will say that the thing that is really frustrating to me is the fact that Davon refuses to entertain the possibility of trusting David. But I'm also frustrated with David in that David is a terrible Big Brother player because he doesn't know how to communicate his frustration or his emotions to people. And he again we go back to the fact that he wrote a freaking book on
I was able to finish writing that. Ended up being around 5,000 words, which is much longer than I was anticipating.
I'm the one who's telling the truth.
I was expecting it to be around half that.
He could convince Davon. Make no mistake. If he actually knew how to communicate his emotions, he could go to Davon and be like, look, on everything that we stand for that is important to us, I swear to you, I'm telling the truth.
Especially the character voice is really low.
But he won't say it like that. He just gives a mealy-mouthed answer to her, which then allows her to not believe him, even though Nicole is obviously guilty. It's just really annoying me, and I feel like they're both to blame. They really are.
Yeah. Well, we are now in a position here where it is not looking great for Davon. It's also not really looking great for David or Kevin moving forward, although there are a lot of other pieces in place. As I said, Christmas has been really working at getting Danny in the firing line here, that she's working on Memphis to be okay with it. Cody and Nicole continue to be very okay with it. And we see Enzo and Tyler on board. Basically everyone in the committee is ready to take the shot at Danny, although they still have Kevin and David as easy options. Memphis, probably even more so than most, is probably the person that would want to get David out still next week. He's still saying that, but a lot of people, I think, have Danny at the very least as their backup target for next week, and that's where things can really get potentially interesting there.
So let me ask you this. Tell me the most interesting scenario for next week. Assuming Davon goes home here, what is the most interesting scenario outside Cody and Tyler.
Or David winning HOH.
Danny wins HOH. She nominates Kevin and David. David wins the veto. He goes to Danny. No, hold on. He has to go to Danny beforehand because they won't have the votes. Danny wins the HOH. She's going to nominate David, but David has to go to Danny and say, look, Christmas came to me last week, and she told me all this stuff about you. Christmas is coming for you, I promise. They're trying to pick me up so that I will go after you. You are on the bottom. And then she won't believe him, and she'll put him up anyway. So, other scenario.
Alright, so
Aaron, give me some hope, honey. Come on. Like, really?
You're our only hope.
There's some hope that she would go after Christmas in that spot. I do think that,
Who would she put up next to her, though? Tyler?
Right. It would have to be Christmas and Tyler. I just don't see it happening because Cody won't let it, right? And she's just too beholden to Cody. But I feel like what we're probably looking for is that Danny needs to go, and then once Danny goes, maybe the floodgates open, and they start to.
Tell me that forever. Oh my God! I've
been waiting for somebody to win HOH. It doesn't happen.
God.
Okay, hold on. I completely forgot. The most exciting scenario is that Kevin wins HOH and he puts up Cody and Enzo.
Yes,
that's the most exciting
telling him to do. Yeah.
Well, she keeps telling him no, Cody and Tyler.
I thought she switched it to Cody and Enzo.
No, she says
that
don't
was if
leave.
Tyler comes down. Okay,
She says gotta put up Tyler. But I don't know if Kevin will actually do that. I think he would probably do Cody and Memphis or Cody and Enzo, which were what he obviously wants to do. And that would be interesting. Cody versus Enzo in particular would be very interesting because Memphis, Christmas, Tyler would all want Enzo to stay. And Nicole, Danny, and David, who knows what they want, who knows what Kevin wants, that's actually a rough spot for Cody. So, but he would have to do Cody and Enzo. Cody and Memphis doesn't work. And Cody and Tyler definitely doesn't work. So, it would have to be very specific.
I guess I'm rooting for Enzo at this point. Sometimes I forget that he's there, honestly. I guess I'm rooting for Enzo or Danny. Those are the two people I'm probably rooting for.
Yeah, I'm kind of rooting for them as well. I think that Enzo's playing a really good game, and I do feel like he's playing a game that's
I don't fully get
very
what I'm doing
strategic,
right
but
now,
kind of in the background, and I kind
I know it told us
like
we can do all this shit, but
I don't like how he
want to do all
throws
this
down
shit.
so much.
Am I forced to do all this shit?
I don't
do
like
the same
that.
thing that they always did. Nicole's
I wish he had done something different.
Look, Tyler betrayed Bailey. Nicole's betraying Davon.
Everyone does the exact same thing. It's history repeating itself.
We knew it. Friends. Yeah.
We knew it starting from week 1. We already talked about this, but I also am rooting for Danny. I am interested in the idea of a female villain, and I do think that she owns her game. I think she's one of the few people who owns their game, really. And I appreciate that. So as much as she is making some decisions that aren't necessarily great for her, I do think that she, would be a fun character to root for down the line, as long as you recognize it, as long as she recognizes that it's a villain sort of character.
Who are you talking about, Danny?
Yeah, Danny.
Yeah.
Look, if Nicole turned it on and was like, I'm a villain, everyone knows it, and goes in the DR wahaha, I would be like, okay, all right, Nicole, you got me. But at this point, Danny's the only one doing that, and Danny is, she's willing to own these moves that she's either making or kind of falling into, but she's owning them as villain moves, and I think it's great.
Yeah, the thing that Danny recognizes is Danny's a fan of the show like us, so she recognizes that their side is probably hated by the public generally.
Totally.
No one's rooting for them. She's like, I understand. I'd be rooting for Davon. Kevin, maybe, I don't know, but it's she's not that impressed with them. So she's like, would we really be rooting for Kevin? So then she slowly starts to try to talk her way out of it. Maybe people are rooting for us, but she knows that people are not rooting for them as a whole, as the committee.
Yeah, Brent, for as much crap as you've given me this podcast about selling a bill of goods, I did say very early on that Danny would become an underdog that people started to root for.
Okay,
in Endgame.
I'm on board for it. Yes.
And look where we are now. No, I really feel like, I mean, bank on it. If Christmas wins the HOH this week and she puts up Danny to try and go after Danny, or even, like, has a plan to backdoor Danny, and then Danny wins the veto, and she realizes that people were coming for her, and now she's, you know, out for war, I don't want to say we, but there are a lot of people in the audience, I think, that will be like, yes, we've drawn blood, and that might interest them. So, yeah,
also,
right.
for those saying that Christmas is the villain, like, yeah, she might be the villain, but she's not a rootable villain. She's not like a fun villain. She doesn't recognize that she's a villain. Like, that's what I want, is for the villain to recognize that they're a villain, not the villain to think that they're in the right and think that they're, like, you know, the audience loves them and agrees with them. Like, that's not what I want to see. I want to see somebody who owns it and is like, yeah, I'm a villain, but I'm playing a game, and I'm going to win this game. You know, that's what I want to see.
Yeah.
All right. Well, look, this is the state of the House. We have the committee. Within the committee, Memphis has actually orchestrated a bit of a coup this time. Memphis is now kind of the person with more of the sway in terms of just straight state of the House. We've got the wise guy who is the majority within the committee, and that consists of Memphis and Enzo. A rung below them, you've got Cody and Christmas, and then, like, attached, but barely a part of it, but attached via Christmas, Cody, and Enzo, you kind of have Tyler, because all three of those people are kind of vouching for Tyler a little bit. Not like pull him into the final five vouching for him, but like let's not target him until the final five kind of vouching for him. Then you've got the core four side of things. That's where Cody and Enzo have the real power structure going on there. It's them at the top. Then a rung below them, you've got Nicole.
Like, this doesn't
who's
feel
close
like Far
to Cody,
Cry,
but
though.
not to Enzo. Then a rung below
it's
Nicole,
really funny,
you've got
actually.
Tyler, who's close to both Cody and Enzo. Enzo likes Tyler, but Cody does recognize that Tyler's a threat, and I do think he would take him out at around Final Five. And then a rung below Tyler, you've got Danny clinging to the rafters, just like desperate to hold on, and she doesn't. The problem is she doesn't even know it. So that's.
You know what else they don't even know? They don't even know the 4-4 or whatever, because they're never asked about it in the diary room. I was loving Danny talking about that to Nicole when she was talking about like, you know, hey, well, the committee, you know, we're running things like she was ranting about Christmas, always talking about the committee and how everything.
I start a timer? I did. Okay. I forgot about
She's
doing
like,
that.
well, we have the core four. She's like, do you ever get asked about that? I never get asked about that. The DR's like, huh? She's like, I was in the DR the other day, and like they don't even know of it. Like, it's not even on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's
Then you have the outsiders, the remainers. Glad I didn't call them the House last week, because that alliance did not last very long. But the outsiders consist, of course, of David and Kevin. So I want to talk about targets for next week, because
please. Even though
you do, like, there's not a single person left in the House that really only has one target right now. There's a target, and there's like a backup target. And so I want to kind of run through these. First, we have Christmas, who I believe would target Kevin or Danny. Those would be her two targets. I think she'd go for Kevin if the veto is won, or if she has the opportunity, or she has no backup. I think she's going to take a shot at Danny. Then you have Danny, who will go after David.
Yeah, I'm not really liking this game, I'm being honest right now.
Kevin is an option.
This feels like a worse version of Far Cry 3.
Christmas is an option for Danny next week, especially because of how much info is out there about Christmas. Danny is already worried about Christmas. If Danny wins another HOH, I have a hard time believing that it will take a lot to push her toward taking a shot at Christmas. Probably in a similar spot. If the veto is won and she has to put somebody up, she's probably not going to do the same thing twice in a row and say Christmas can go up, but you can not send her home. I think she'd want her to go.
Yeah, I think she'd want her out, and I will also say that I'm hoping that this week is a wake-up call to Danny, in that she's not going to get her way. She's not, like, she told Nicole, you know, well, if the guys don't want to keep Davon, we'll talk to them. We'll get it done. She's gotten her way every single time, or perceived to have gotten her way every single time. Like, Cody got his way last week, and she let him have it. But like, the thing to understand is that Ian was somebody that was closer to her and Nicole, and she knew that, but she did it because other people wanted Ian out, okay? That was for the Alliance. Now, it's her choice this week, and she's not even going to get to have her choice. She told Cody, like, hey, let me have this one, basically. She's not going to get it. I'm hoping that she realizes that by next week, she cannot take out somebody like Kevin, who she might have some semblance of a relationship with. She might be able to
so, I did work today, but as I said, got the Hitman video written before that. The plan for tomorrow is to record both the Australian Outback and the Hitman videos, and then I'm done recording until the A&W and BB22 reviews.
I am so fed up with her.
That's the plan.
If she just follows the script that Melissa talked about in her tweet about, you know, Kaser, then Bailey, then Davon, then Ian, then Kevin, and David, if they get put up on the block next week, I'm literally going to scream.
It really should be, like, it's basically being screamed in her face right now.
Okay, fine.
Like, you are being strong-armed into making decisions you don't want to do during your own HOH, a second week in a row. You are at the bottom. That's what that means.
But people don't, we talked about this before, even on Survivor, people don't want to recognize when they're at the bottom. It takes such fortitude to recognize you're at the bottom without being just like, usually by the time people in Big Brother recognize they're on the bottom is when they're put on the goddamn block, and I want her to recognize it before that, Taryn.
We'll see. Well, you've got Nicole going after, I believe, Kevin or David. She would just straight up go after Kevin or David. I don't think she's ready to take a shot anywhere else right yet. You've got Cody, who I think also would go Kevin or David. No real variance there. I don't think he would take a shot yet either. You've got Tyler, who I think would do Kevin, David, or Danny, if presented the option, I do believe. Then you've got Enzo, who I think would do Danny, Nicole, or Kevin. I think Enzo might try and stay away from David if possible, but he would definitely
doesn't matter which one we do first.
Nicole. You've got Kevin, who wants to go after Cody, but would probably settle for anybody but David. And then you've got David, who's going to go after Danny, I think, as of right now, but would settle for really anybody but Kevin, I believe. Maybe he's got a thing with Christmas now, but we've got a few different options here, but some big ones. So Kevin, I tallied the results here, according to my own target list here. Kevin has 6 of the 8 people who might target him next week, so not looking good for Kevin. The next 2, Danny and David, both tied with 4, with people that might take a shot at them next week.
So we can do them in any order, right?
Great for either of them either, but it's Kevin, David, and Danny that are in the most danger. And then you have Cody and Christmas with some potential...
yeah, that's the plan for tomorrow, is to record those videos. Probably won't record any Far Cry.
After them.
I do question if I can get both those videos recorded tomorrow, but ideally that's the plan. So just get them out of the way.
David or Kevin, you'd probably see Christmas
also work on the Big B22 review tomorrow night.
Go, but probably not. Basically anyone but Enzo, you'd see Cody stay. So it's probably going to be Kevin, David, or Danny next week. According to where we are right now, again though, there's a lot of information out there that could shift things up potentially, but that's kind of what we're looking at.
I don't want any of those people to go.
Right? You know who we didn't say? We didn't say Cody and Nicole. You know what the wall yeller said that everybody knows that he said? Cody and Nicole are working together in the final 2 alliance. And these people are still dumb enough to let it happen.
Father knows.
It's gonna be Cody and Nicole.
Sin. It's poison.
Alright, are you guys ready for the stock watch?
Sure.
What if I told you?
I have a quick question, Terrence.
Yes.
What
if I told you that
do
everything
you,
you ever
I mean,
dreamed would come true? What if I told you that everything
I guess we all know
could
that
be
this
overcome
happened, but do
against
you believe that the influence of like pre-game alliances has been like
freedom from sin.
crazy this season, or do you think it's like we're overblowing it a little bit and that like there was probably talk, but it's really not what we're thinking?
I personally think it's been very overblown, but I do believe that there were pregame connections. I think the biggest one is Nicole and Danny. They are like actual friends on the outside. Then Nicole and Cody, who are not like super close friends, but like close enough. Like
What the fuck are we doing right now?
enough that like they have that kind of
I
understanding.
really don't
outside
give
the
a
house.
shit about this
And
game
that's,
story.
like, again, that's not really pre-gaming as such. That's more like the relationships outside of the
Yeah, if I were to
house.
guess what my ranking is going to be, like, of the main series, I think this is definitely going to be below 3 and 4. To my, I could, like, depending on how far into the game we get, I could see Primal being above this. Like, obviously, we end up finishing this game. I think just instinctively this has to be above Primal, which we only played a few hours of.
I don't think they connect
But,
without Nicole, because Cody did not want to work with Danny heading into the game, and he has never really wanted to work with Danny all the way through the game. The only reason he works with her is because she is so head over heels for like doing everything he says. And the second she stops doing that, I guarantee you he's already basically cut her, but like he'll throw her to the wolves in a heartbeat. So that's what I think really impacted things. And then I think another one in the opposite direction was Danny and Janelle, who were also friends outside the house, but for whatever reason, Danny decided to make that a negative.
Alright, since the game, like, tries to tell us to do that one, I guess we'll do that one.
It made no sense.
Which one is
and
that,
then,
though? Okay, it's this one,
like
John.
I said, my theory is
So I
that
assume that's
think
the order
Cody
we're gonna be
and
doing it?
Memphis probably connected
that.
briefly before the season. Memphis didn't exactly have a lot of time to connect in the preseason, but they probably
let's go.
like, I don't know, texted or I don't know, something to be like, hey, let's do this.
Does Memphis
You
know how
what
to
I mean?
text?
And I don't think that impacted much because I would imagine that they would have had that same conversation week one anyway. Then we've got Janelle and Bailey potentially that we think they probably had a connection. We obviously saw that relationship throughout the game. Didn't really impact that much beyond putting a target on Bailey, unfortunately. Obviously, Janelle and Kaser, probably the biggest relationship that went into the game. That didn't help them all that much, though. And then Tyler and Christmas, obviously big one. Tyler and David, a bit of a connection there. Again, we know that they kind of like interacted a little bit, but didn't exactly do that much for them. But Tyler and Christmas, I think, via Josh and
Casey.
Casey. I kept wanting to say Paul. I think obviously had that connection, right? So I think that's that's most. I
Fuck.
really don't think that ends like being paranoid about pre-games. I really feel like he didn't, but I do think that he had some familiarity with Cody prior to the season, which, you know, a decent amount of them had some amount of familiarity.
Where are we going right now?
And then, you know, there's other ones like Devon and Cody a little bit
no,
knew each other
yeah.
through Polly and Devon and Nicole, obviously. So a lot of intermixing, you know, relationships. I do not believe that there was a pre-gamed alliance, that there was a set alliance going, and we saw these alliances form and like choosing people and like switching people out at the beginning of the game. The committee definitely, I think, was not a pre-gamed alliance. So that's sort of where I see it. It's kind of like, it's an interesting web. I'm interested to see what people have to say after the fact, but
Yeah, but I'm not feeling great about this game right now. We'll continue playing it, but I'm not feeling great about it.
Because again, there were a lot of people outside of the power structure that also had relationships with each other. They just never won anything. And like, if you know, Janelle and Kaser were like running the show with Janelle's connection to Danny and to Bailey and to Kaser, then, you know, I don't think that we would be like, oh, well, it wasn't. It like she did have those connections. It just didn't work out because they didn't win competitions.
Yeah, cool. Sorry. I was listening to all the talk about, you know, possible pre-gaming or, like, you know, pre-relationships, and it just frustrates me to no end that the one pre-relationship that everyone knows about, that the Wall Yeller talked about, that these people knew about coming into the game. They saw the cast that Nicole and Cody played with each other on 16.
Fuck, this is
Like,
far.
does nobody remember that? Like, you have a base to draw from.
I mean, to be fair,
You know
Cody
that you
forgot
spend
about
some
that.
time in the Big Brother house, and then talk to them and live together, talking about your season
Almost as
afterwards.
Enter.
Like, it is boggling to me that people do not seem to think that that's a big deal. They don't care.
That's the thing. That's why, like, I feel like you can't go into the game placing too much importance on pre-game relationships or even like early game relationships. You need to focus on like who knows each other. If they know each other, that's bad for you. Take out the people that know each other. It's good to go after Janelle and Kaiser because they are never in a million years going to betray each other. It's also good to go after Cody and Nicole. Now, I do believe Cody would cut Nicole, but the familiarity there still do, and that's important. So you have to be cautious of the people that know each other on the outside. There's more of a connection there. There's more trust there that you can't work around as easily. And so you can come in with those things, but it should put a target on your back. It really should.
It really should if these people were actually all-stars, but as Devon said, they're not all-stars.
Well, but I mean, again, like, we keep saying this, but it's also like that nobody ever had the ability to do anything about it, you know what I mean? Like,
Alright, so I
like,
guess it's just that simple, I guess.
I really do think it, like, I feel like sometimes, sometimes I circle around in my brain about, like, how could things have been different, why has the game gone this way, and, like, I sometimes feel like sometimes it is just Occam's razor. It's just like, it's just that they didn't win the competition. Like, sometimes it is that simple, and I really do feel like that's kind of where we are.
Alright, let's rate these bitches.
Alright, let's move on to the Doc Watch. Alright.
Ah, fuck. We'll get
we've got. We're going to be rating these players.
Yes, we are.
From 1 to 10, based on their gameplay this week.
Yes.
Their positioning, all of it. We polled the audience. We got your opinion on everything. And
am I
we're
stuck?
going to run through this now. We're going to start with Christmas. Melissa, how do you feel about Christmas?
I don't know. I feel like it's hard because I don't really feel like that much has changed from last week to this week, just because I think that it's a little bit stagnant in that we're just losing another outsider. We're not really shaking anything up. It doesn't really seem like anyone's really working with new people or doing anything. I know Christmas had, the conversation with David about, she's going to reveal the in the goodbye message or whatever, or she's going to back up his story that Nicole.
Which of course he can't prove. Yeah.
Right, exactly. And here's the thing: is I do like that, but it's kind of like, okay, cool. So you're gonna send out my ally and then say you're gonna give a goodbye message, which also I don't even know if that goodbye message will get played.
Okay.
They only played some of them.
I mean, I'm
but
pretty
I guess
sure they'll play
I
that.
like that sort of thinking. It doesn't really change her position really in the game. I do feel like she's in a better position though than she was in last week, because I do feel like last
Oh, I forgot this game has regenerating health, doesn't it? Ugh. I fucking hate that.
Week, but I guess it was still lingering the argument. It was still, that they were going to be that Crystal was in a bad position. But okay, anyway, long story short, I'm going to just give her a 5, because she's right there in the middle for me.
Alright, Brent.
That's about right. I'm going to give her a 6. I gave her a 4 last week, but I've been pretty impressed with her efforts. I'm not saying that I buy it personally, but I do buy the fact that she's trying to jury manage a little bit with Devon, knowing that she's probably going to go home, knowing that if with Devon going home, that David's going to obviously so now being in the house is going to be somebody who is a little bit hurt about the fact that Dave's going to go to see Devon, and she's going to, tell something to Day in her finances. She's trying to make David convinced that she's not going to smash that. They're going to align, so there's one less person coming after Christmas. Add to that the fact that she's going to view this people's final plan, and God, you think?
This is weird. This is such a fucking weird game. It's like they mix Far Cry with like a fucking weird co-op sort of thing.
Her equity goes up as far as getting to the end goes. For winning the game, though, I don't know if I can buy that. So I'm gonna give her 6. We'll see what happens.
Yes, I will say I'm close to a 7 on Christmas. I feel really good about what she's been doing. She's been working very hard. She's found herself in a pretty good spot. And she's basically in Tyler's spot from a few weeks ago, where she's running pretty good. She's got a great chance to win a lot of competitions in the end. She's got some halfway decent end game plans, and
I think the problem is that she has less of a chance of winning the jury vote, though.
Danny. And she currently has the upper hand on Danny. That said, the reason I can't give her a 7 right now is because of the Danny problem, and more importantly, the Cody problem. That Cody recognizes that Christmas is the one person he does not have control over within the committee. I think if Cody has his way, both Danny and Christmas would go, but Christmas would go first. Even though he doesn't like what Danny is doing and all of that, and he's very willing to let her go, he has been very adamant about the fact that he is not going to actively, work to make her go, whereas I do think he might actively work to make Christmas go, and that is not going to work out well for Christmas if history has anything to say about it, because of the fact that Cody continues to get his way over and over in this game. So that's not looking great for Christmas. So overall, I'm going to give her a 6.
Ah, shit.
I will say about the jury thing, I really feel like this jury is a mess.
There we go.
This jury is all over the place in terms of what these people have said they're going to do. This is not All Stars 1, and the people going to the jury, the people talking about their jury votes, are not talking about wanting to reward the best player. They are talking about wanting to be as bitter as possible, and one of the reasons why people sometimes don't like bitter votes is because bitterness can be applied equally everywhere to anyone, and that means that literally, in my opinion, anybody can win this season, and that does include Christmas. So I gave her a 6. The audience.
When that there's nothing.
There you go.
Right? But she's going to average a 6 on the strength of you and mine. You and mine's votes, and so you made a little money if you bought Christmas.
And a future.
There you go. All right, let's talk Cody.
So, I should have put my mind into Christmas
I'll
now.
go first on Cody. I feel very good about Cody. It's another week of Cody getting his way, getting exactly what he wants, and getting basically no heat for it. He has been in the best position all game long. The number of people that would... The only reason he has been kept down, first of all, was because he was contending with Tyler in the first half of the game. Tyler tripped himself, and now Cody's just like out in front with nobody to counter him. But then the problem was that because he's so far out in front, there were other people that might win a competition and put him on the block, and that might be dangerous. But the number of people that would do that is really starting to dwindle, and now it's down to just one person who might do that, just Kevin. And in almost any configuration, Cody still probably stays against Kevin, and he is in the most dominant position moving to the end, other than perhaps Enzo. The problem is that Enzo does not have the influence that Cody does, and is more reliant on things falling in his favor at the moment. And again, this has just been Cody's game all season long, and he continues to hold on to each valuable relationship that he needs. So, I mean, his biggest concern in the endgame is Christmas right now, and she has to deal with Danny first. And she's so linked to Memphis and Tyler and Enzo, who all will vouch for Cody. So I'm giving Cody the 10. I feel like he is absolutely the guy to beat right now, and I think it's going to be tough to beat him.
All right.
Ben, how do you feel?
Same way. I'm giving him a 10. And it's not because Taryn did. I really
So, we'll end here.
am,
Next episode, continue on. For now, thank you for watching.
grudgingly